Good evening. Am I audible to everyone? Speaker, good evening. Godwin, good evening. Naveen, good evening. Karthik, good evening. Jyoti, good evening. Yes, am I audible to everyone? What I discussed with you yesterday? What I discussed with you yesterday? Yes, good evening everybody. What I discussed with you yesterday? I was discussing with you about commenting statements and loops. What are the different types of loops? Yeah, I was discussing with you about different types of loops. Yes, what are the different types of loops? You want me to do that do while loop example, right? Someone asked me, right? Yeah, basically we have three different types of loops. The first one is a for loop, second one is a while loop, and third one is a do while loop. Yes, I am going to show you one example of this do while loop. So this is do while loop. Whenever I want to define any new class, I am using the class keyword followed by the name of the class. It is prepended by the public access modifier. So I can go for different types of access modifiers. It is prepended by the public access modifier. And inside this, I am just defining a main method. So public static void main, the argument is passed as a string array. So always the JVM comes in, the program execution starts from the main method. So firstly, I am just initializing this integer variable. So int I equal to 1 and I am going inside this do. So within curly brace, if I want to print something at the output, so I am just telling here as system.out.println. So whenever I want to print this I value, so I value will be printed at the output. So you can see here the first one is the initialization. So whenever you are going to go for any type of loop, so whether it can be a for loop or it can be a while loop or if it can be a do while loop. So first step is the initialization, and after initialization the next comes, you can see. So whenever I want to go for loop, I have to use for keyword, and whenever I need to go for while loop, I need to go for while keyword, and the third one is the do while loop. So I am just using this do keyword and system.out.println of I. For example, I am just incrementing this I value. So after doing this, while I less than or equal to 10. So what is the main difference between a while loop and a do while loop? In case of do while loop, the condition will be tested at the end. Whereas in case of while loop, the condition will be tested at the beginning. So this is the last loop. If you want to run this file, just right click and you can just run this file. So So you are clear with the looping concepts? Yeah, good evening everybody. So you are clear with the looping concepts till this part. Whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. Any queries? Alright. So all these are the different types of concepts available in Java language. So next I am going to discuss with you for each loop. Tomorrow I will give you. Yes. Yeah, good evening everybody. Someone asked me yesterday, like if you want to print in the same line, you can go for /t escape sequence. If I am going to give tab, you can just print everything in a single line. Alright. So next, then if statement is used and else block will be executed when the condition is false. So based on some condition, if I want to perform some operation or if I want to perform some action, I can go for this decision making statement. So from the term you can just understand. For example, if the purchase amount of the customer exceeds this, he will be getting some discount. So you can imagine any practical scenario. So what is the use of going for decision making statement? So firstly I was discussing with you about loops. So what is the main purpose of going for looping statements? Next I am talking with you about decision making. Based on some condition, if I want to perform some sort of operation, I need to go for decision making statement. Clear with this? For example, in an e-commerce industry, you can imagine everything is becoming online. If the purchase amount of the customer exceeds this, he will be getting some discount. Or you can consider some other sector. In a banking sector. So whenever a person is depositing this amount, so this will be the rate of interest. So what you can imagine any practical scenario. So based on some condition, if I want to perform some operation, if I want to perform some action, I need to go for this decision making statement. So I have different types of conditional statement. The first one is the simple if statement. So from the name you can just understand. So what is the purpose or what is the use of going for a if statement? The condition will be tested and then a statement or group of statements will be executed. And the next one is the if else statement. The program checks for the condition. So if the condition is satisfied, the statement following the if block will be executed. Otherwise the statement following the else block will be executed. And third one is the nested if statement. So having an if statement within another if statement. So all these are the different types of decision making statements available in Java language. So what is the nested if? So from the term you can just understand. So having an if statement inside another if statement. Clear with this? So all these are the different types. So based on some condition, for example, if this I want to go for a simple decision making. So if this condition is satisfied, the statement following the if block will be executed. So the next important decision making statement is the if else structure. So if this condition is satisfied, the statement following the if block will be executed. Otherwise the statement following the else block will be executed. And the third type of decision making is the nested if. So having an if statement within another if statement. Let me just discuss with you about different types of conditional making statements. What are the different types of conditional making? That is decision making statements. So this is the simple if example. So already I have created a application, web application. So whenever I want to create any new project, just go to file menu. You can just create a new project. So already I have created one project. So under the source packages, whenever I want to create any new class, what is the procedure? So just right click and you can just create a new Java class. So inside this, I am coming inside. So public static void main, the argument is passed as a stringer, string of space args. So always the JVM comes in, the program execution starts from the main method. So I am just initializing this a value equal to 10. And then I am checking for some condition. So if a equal to 10, so I want to print something at the output. So I am just giving here as system.out.println. So what I am printing? So the value of a is 10. Clear with this? So this is one simple example of going for decision making statements. So whenever I want to define any new class, I am using the class keyword followed by the name of the class. So it is prepended by the public access modifier. So I am going to discuss with you about access modifiers in my later chapters. So you can go for, so mostly I will be using public access modifier. So whenever I am doing any kind of program, so any kind of project, so mostly I will be using public access modifier, global access. So whenever I want any class or method, or you can imagine, for example, variables to be visible to the entire program, I can go for this public access modifier. From the name you can just understand. So what is the purpose of going for this public access modifier? So it is visible globally. So whenever I want to define any new class, I am using the class keyword followed by the name of the class. So it is prepended by the public access modifier. So I can go for different types of access modifiers. It is prepended by the public access modifier. Inside this, I am defining a main method, public static void main. The argument is passed as a stringer. So always the JVM comes in, the program execution starts from the main method. So int a equal to 10. So first I am initializing this a value, the value of 10. And if a equal to 10, so I am just printing the value of a is 10. So this is one simple if statement. So if this condition is satisfied, I have to perform some operation. Clear with this? So what is the syntax here? So I need to use the if keyword followed by the conditional expression. So within simple brackets, I am just saying a equal to 10. So I want to print something at the output. So system.out.println, the value of a is 10. So what are the different types of if statements? The first one is a simple if statement. So and then I can go for a if else structure. So the second type of if statement is a if else. If this condition is satisfied, some statement will be executed, otherwise the else block will be executed. So just I am going to create a new Java class. So I am defining an if else example. So inside this, so firstly I am just initializing some value, say for example s equal to 6. And I am checking for some condition. If s is greater than 5, I am just printing something. System dot, whenever I want to print something at the output, system dot out dot println. So the value of s is, what I am saying, greater than 5. Otherwise, the else block will be executed. System.out.println. So the value of S is, I am saying, less than 5. So whenever this is one more example, the first one is a simple if statement. The second type of statement is a if-else structure. So what do you mean by this if-else structure? So if this condition is satisfied, the statement following the if block will be executed. Otherwise, the statement following the else block will be executed. So whenever I want to define any new class, I am using the class keyword followed by the name of the class. So it is prepended by the public access modifier. So mostly whenever I am going to develop any kind of application, so I will be using public access modifier. So I can go for public access modifier, I can go for private, or I can go for protected. So basically I am using this public access modifier. So whenever I want to use any of these access modifiers, it is prepended by the corresponding access modifier. So public class, whatever is the name of the class, I need to mention the corresponding class name. And inside this, I am coming inside public static void main. The argument is passed as a string array. So always the JVM comes in, the program execution starts from the main method. So what I am doing here? So first I am just initializing this S value. So S equal to 6. And if S is greater than 5, I am printing something. So system.out.println, the value of S is greater than 5. So otherwise the else block will be executed. Else I am printing something, system.out.println, the value of S is less than 5. So till this part, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. Am I audible now? Yes. So I was discussing with you about decision making statements. So based on my requirement, I can go for types of simple if statement. I can go for a if-else structure, or I can go for a nested if statement. So just take down this exercise. Write a program using if-else structure to find whether the number is divisible by 5 or not. Take down this exercise. Write a program using if-else structure to find whether the number is divisible by 5 or not. So till this part, everything is clear. Any queries so far? So I just discussed with you about decision making statements. So I can go for a simple if statement, I can go for a if-else structure. If I want, I can go for a nested if statement. All these are the different types of decision making statements. So the next important statement is the break statement. So what is the use of going for this break statement? So it's used to break the current flow of the program and transfer the control to the next statement. So it breaks only the inner loop. for example, whenever I have some loop, so it is used to break, and whenever I want to disrupt some normal flow, skip some part of the code, I can go for this break statement. Say for example, I'm fetching some records from the database. You can imagine. So what is the use of different types of statements? So whenever I'm creating some big applications, whenever I'm developing some bigger applications based on my requirement, I need to go for different types of decision making statements. Or I need to go for example, as I was telling you, right, in a hospital, for example, if the department ID is this, so I can say I'm going to perform some operation. So similarly, what is the use of break statement? I am fetching some 10 records, out of which I need to print only 5. So I want to skip the remaining code. So in such cases, I can go for break. What do you mean by a breaking operation? So normally when you are driving a car, so whenever I am going to apply something, so it is going to pass or I am going to stop. The similar operation. So you can go for a break statement, and the opposite of break is the continue. So you can, from the name, you can just understand. So what is the use of break statement and what is the use of continue statement? If I want to continue to the next iteration, so I can go for this continue statement. Clear with this? So till this part, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. So any queries so far till this part, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. If you are interested, so you can join for 1 month internship on Java programming. The registration fee comes around 1500 rupees, and after discount it comes around 799 rupees. Once you are going to register for this internship, so you'll be getting 30 days of live sessions, you will be getting all the source codes, downloadable PPTs, practical knowledge. So please hurry up. If you are interested, you can join for 1 month internship on Java programming. Registration fee comes around 1500 rupees, and after discount the fee comes around 799 rupees. Register for this internship, so you'll be getting 30 days of live sessions, you will be getting all the source codes, downloadable presentations, you will be gaining more practical knowledge. So please hurry up. My voice is audible? Okay. So next I'm going to discuss with you about ternary operators. So this is one more important conditional operator, similar to, for example, whenever I can go for operator, question mark colon. So this is for conditional. So in a single for some conditional expression, so I can go for ternary operators. So firstly I was discussing with you about a simple if statement. So and then I was discussing discussing with you about a if-else structure. If this condition is satisfied, I am going to execute some statement, otherwise the else block will be executed. There is one more important conditional operator, it is called as a ternary operator. By this ternary operator. So within a single line, if I want to check for some conditional expression, say for example, different fields. When you are going to fill some, you can imagine in a corporate company, I am going to go for an employee registration form. I want to fill in some details, or I can go for a customer registration form. So what are the different fields that are present in the form? So I want to fill in some customer details, or I want to fill in some employee details. I am collecting the name of the employee, employee ID, to which department he belongs to, so age of an employee. So I want to check if this conditional expression is satisfied, question mark, something will be executed, colon, the else part will be executed. These are the different types of decision making statements. So based on my requirement, so whenever I am going to develop some applications, based on my requirement, I can go for different types of decision making statements. Clear with this? So what is the use of ternary operator? Let me just show you one more example. So just click, I am going to create a new Java class. And inside this, I am just writing a main method. Public static void main. The argument is passed as a stringer. String of space args. The argument is passed as a stringer. So I am just initializing this number. So number is greater than 5. Number is greater than 5. I am just printing like this. Colon. I am just printing number is less than 5. So if I want to print something at the output, system.out.println. So whenever I want to print something at the output, so I am just going to print this output. Whenever I want to define any new class, I am using the class keyword followed by the name of the class. So I am just mentioning here as ternary example, it is prepended by the public access modifier. So I can go for different types of access modifiers. It is prepended by the public access modifier. And inside this, I am just coming inside this main method, public static void main. The argument is passed as a stringer. So as the JVM comes in, the program execution starts from the main method. So I am just initializing this number. So int number equal to 5 and string output equal to, so I am checking for some conditional expression. So within the simple brackets, number is greater than 5. I am checking for some conditional expression, question mark, number is greater than 5, colon, I am just giving here as number is less than 5. So if this condition is satisfied, so within a single line, so what is the purpose? Say for example, I have an age field, I want to do some validations. So if the age of a person is greater than this, he can perform some task. So or I am saying, I am getting different fields. Whenever a customer is purchasing, he is making some order to the cart. He want to ship out something. So he want to ship out, collecting some details. Whenever the purchase amount exceeds this, he is going to get some discount. So when he is entering some details, I need to display some pop-up message. So this is the syntax. Whenever I need to go for ternary operator, first the conditional expression question mark within double quotes, I am just saying number is greater than 5 colon else part. So structure colon the else part will be executed. Clear with this? Till this part whatever I am speaking everything is clear. Ternary example, I am just giving some name, you can give any name. I was discussing with you about ternary operators. All these are different types of decision making statements available in Java language. So next I am going to talk with you or discuss with you about switch statement. What is the purpose of going for this switch statement? So the condition will be checked and based on the condition, so any of the cases will be different. So if I want to go for multiple else blocks, in such cases I can switch. From the term you can just understand. So what do you mean by this switch statement? There will be a break keyword at the end of each and every block. So it is used to exit from the corresponding case block. So this is the syntax and the default block any of the cases. So let me just show you one example using switch case statement so that you will understand this. Whenever I want to create any new class, just right click this package and I am going to create a new Java class. I am just naming here as switch example, under which project I am going to create this class and under which location I am just clicking the finish button. Whenever I want to define any new class, I am using the class keyword followed by the name of the class. Whatever is the class name, I am just giving the corresponding class name. It is prepended by the public access modifier. I can go for different types of access modifiers. It is prepended by the public access modifier. And inside this I am defining a main method public static void main. The argument is passed as a string array. So always the JVM comes in, the program execution starts from the main method. So I am just initializing this choice in choice equal to 1 and switch off choice. So based on my choice, for example, if this is 1, it goes to case 1 and the statement following case 1 will be executed. So I need to break, so I am giving a break at the end of each and every case. And case 2 system.out.println, the number is 2. So I am just inserting a break statement. And case 3, so I am just giving here system.out.println, the number is 3, I am just breaking. And case 4, system.out.println, the number is 4, I am just breaking, and by default when none of the conditions were satisfied, the default block will be executed. This is the corresponding syntax for going for the switch statement. So whenever I want to, so the JVM comes in, I am using the switch keyword and choice. So whatever variable this is passed as a parameter to my switch statement. Based on my choice, to whichever case block it matches, whether it is case 1 or case 2 or case 3, to whichever case block it matches, it goes inside and breaks from the corresponding case block. When none of the case values matches, by default the default block will be executed. Just right click and I am running this file. So number is 1, this will be printed. For example, if I am giving the choice as 2, so number is 2, this will be printed at my console. So clear with this, what are the different types of decision making statements? Today I just started with decision making. What is the use of if statement? What is the use of if else? What is the use of ternary operator? Whenever you want to go for multiple else blocks, if this condition is on that, if I want to go for multiple else blocks or multiple case blocks, in such cases I can go for statement. So how to get the input from the user? You can go for system.in. Alright, so whenever I am going to, I will show you one more example tomorrow. So whenever I want to get the input from the user, you can go for system.in. You can store in the user. For example, enter the number. You can just store in a variable and you can just pass that. So any more queries? So next I am going to talk with you about arrays. So what is the main purpose of arrays? What do you mean by an array? It is nothing but a homogeneous collection of data elements, collection of similar type of elements. It is called as an array. Whenever I want to store some collection of integers, or whenever I want to store some collection of, for example, student names, or if I want to store some, for example, whatever you want, I want to store some collection of characters, or if I want to store some collection of names, I want to store some whatever, it is nothing but a collection of similar type of elements. So what do you mean by an array? It is nothing but a collection of data elements. Majorly I have two different type of array and one more is called as a multi-dimensional array. So what do you mean by a single dimensional array? For example, I have collection of similar type of elements 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. 5 elements are stored inside this array. So this is called as a single dimensional array. So whenever I want to define any new class, I am using the class keyword followed by the name of the class. It is prepended by the public access modifier. So I can go for different types of access modifiers. It is prepended by the public access modifier. And inside this, I am coming inside public static void main. The argument is passed as a stringer. So always the JVM comes in, the program execution starts from the main method. Number array. So int num array equal to new int of whatever is the size of the array. I am just mentioning the corresponding array size. So number array of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can just see here, I'm just initializing this array. Clear with this how I'm initializing this array? I'm storing some numbers inside my number array. So if I want to print this at the output, you can just see here for int I equal to 0, and I'm putting it in a for loop or an iterator. So I less than number array dot length, so I plus plus. I'm fetching each and every element stored inside this array, and this will be displayed at my output. Let me just show you one more example. So just right click. I am just giving here as example array. So I am just giving here string of space args. The argument is passed as a string array. So int, I am just initializing this number array. I am just giving new int of 5. If I want to initialize this number array, so I am just initializing this. So how the array elements are stored? So the indexing starts from 0. So from 0 at the 0th location, so within square brackets, it specifies the array size. So I am initializing some values, say for example 10, and at the second index, I am just storing the value as 20. So you can just see here, I am just initializing some elements inside my number array. Int I equal to 0, I less than or equal to 5, and I plus plus. System dot out dot println. I am going to print this number array. So whatever is stored inside my I, this will be printed at my output. So clear with this is one array example. Whenever I want to define any new class, I am using the class keyword followed by the name of the class. It is prepended by the public access modifier. I can go for different types of access modifiers, and inside this I am coming inside the main method. Public static void main, the argument is passed as a stringer. So I am just initializing this number array new int of 5. It is prepended by the integer data type. So whenever I want to initialize this number array, it is prepended by the integer data type. So num array of 0. For example, the array index starts from 0. So I am just initializing some value. What is the syntax for declaring an array? Data type followed by the name of the array. I have to use the new keyword followed by the data type and size. I am just initializing some values inside my array, and this is being printed at the output. Clear with this? So 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, this will be printed at the output. Today, If you are interested, you can register for 1 month internship on Java programming. Registration fee comes around 1500 rupees and after discount it comes around 799 rupees. Once you register for the internship, you will be getting 30 days live sessions, you will be getting access to the records, you will be getting all the source and downloadable presentations. If you are interested, you can register for 1 month internship on Java programming. Registration fee comes around 1500 rupees and after discount it comes around 799 rupees. So you'll be getting 30 days of live sessions, you'll be getting 90 days of access to records, you'll be getting downloadable presentations. So any more queries? Yeah, I will discuss with you about access modifiers. So firstly, I am just discussing about the concepts. I will discuss with you about access. Alright then. Range of the array, so I am just mentioning the size as 5. So any more queries? Alright then. Remaining things we will see tomorrow. Same time, same link. Thank you all.